Hello, David here. Just giving you a brief intro on what you're about to listen to. This is the inaugural episode for a little weekly solo podcast thing I kind of want to do called Davetona Drive Time. It's me driving around in a car and talking about video games because I'm usually by myself in a car a lot of the time, and that's the only time I can really think about wanting to talk about a lot of this stuff in a microphone. General layout for the show, it's news, what I'm playing, and I do talk about Saturn stuff. Saturn stuff does come up towards the end, and I talk about the channel a little bit. So stay tuned for that at the end. But yeah, let me know what you think. If you like it, great. Tell me in the comments. If you have some problems with it, also tell me that. If you think it sucks, also tell me that. I want to know what you guys think, if I should change some things up or anything like that. Also, there is a lot of noise from it being driven in a car. The mic I'm using does have noise canceling. I did not turn that on. I now know how to do that, so we can get that ironed out in the next episode. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Enjoy listening to this. You ever just want to talk about video games and then not have the time to do it? At least by yourself or with friends or whatever? Happens to me all the time. I at least want to record it. Like, I aspire to make a podcast of some sort, and my problem is to just keep up with it. All the background editing, producing, all that stuff for it. It gets in the way. So I'm trying this out. If it sounds like I'm moving my head, it's because I am. I'm driving a car. I want to make this a thing. I'm driving around, and I want to talk about video games. The name of this that comes to mind, probably not the final name, is just Drive Time. So maybe Davetona Drive Time. Drive Time with Davetona. I haven't thought of it. Whatever this ends up becoming, it'll be in the title. Anyway, today is December 8th, 7th, 8th. I think today is the 8th. It's a Monday. Now I have to double check. It's December 8th at like 7:30 in the morning. My job has me driving around looking at all the snow on the ground in northern Kentucky here. So I got some time to just talk and think about video game stuff. Before I went out to start driving today, I saw some breaking news. Harada from Tekken, the Tekken guy from Bandai Namco, said he's leaving Bandai Namco at the end of the year. Which I think that's like the last big fighting game guy to like leave the space. At least like of the big name people that I remember seeing like throughout my college years, like, and most of my early adult life, keeping up with the fighting game stuff. Like Yoshinori Ono, he left Capcom like years ago. I remember all those Capcom dudes like Seth Killian, all them doing all the stuff with Street Fighter 4. Like I kept up with that a lot. And that era has gone away, but a new Street Fighter era has spawned up since then, and I've been really like enjoying that. But this has been like the Tekken guy for like the whole time, as far as I'm aware. He's at least been there for like Tekken 2 and 3, I believe. He was also there for Tekken 4, which might actually be my personal favorite one. Tekken 4 is a great video game. Probably not a great competitive fighting game, but a damn good video game. I stand by Tekken 4. Like I played Tekken, I played all the newer ones, like 6, 7, even 8. I really enjoyed all of them. I played a ton of Tekken 6. A lot of Tekken 6 in college. That was like the game to play during my college years, or my college year. Everybody played Tekken 6, and my only way of playing Tekken 6 was on the PSP, so I could like keep up with the people who were playing it on console. And that PSP version of Tekken 6 was awesome. Like, it was like, not, I wouldn't say feature parity, but like gameplay parity with the console versions. It's great. I loved it. And it made me grow this appreciation for Tekken that, while it was kind of there, Like, I actually got into like the competitive spirit of it, you know, like understanding the systems better. Because up to that point, like, I'd watched Evo for several years, like mostly for Street Fighter. And whenever Tekken would pop up, I'd be like, ugh, I don't want to watch Tekken, fuck Tekken, whatever. I mean, not fuck Tekken, but you know what I mean. Like, I didn't find watching competitive Tekken that interesting. It wasn't until like I started playing it and understanding it myself to where I'm like, oh, this is like hype as fuck. And I grew a way better like appreciation and understanding for it. So, yeah, it's a real bummer that Harada's leaving. I mean, I guess I wouldn't say the writing was on the wall, but it was like, you know, Tekken 8 hasn't been in the greatest spot recently. I haven't really kept up with the competitive scene a whole lot, really. I just know that a lot of the fan base hasn't really been happy with how like the more recent patches, or at least the stuff from earlier this year, panned out. A lot of stuff with balance issues and just stuff like that. I'll be honest, I haven't really kept that much up with it. I just know that the community, it hasn't been too happy with it. But also, Harada's been at it for like, at this point, literally decades. I think he said, I didn't get a whole lot of time to read what he posted about him leaving, but it said like he was there for like 30 years, which I guess that kind of lines up if he was there from like early Tekken days. But like, what a hell of a run, dude. Like, whatever he has like lined up in early retirement, or what, not early retirement, but like just like chilling out, retiring in general, like he's earned it. Like, he's done a lot for the fighting community. He's done a lot for fighting games. Like, he's kept 3D fight, like his leadership in that role at Tekken at Bandai Namco has kept 3D fighting games relevant to the point where it's like really the only one left. And he's even gotten out there being like, yeah, Sega should make a Virtua Fighter. And guess what? They're making a Virtua Fighter. I know he's gotten out talking about Soul Calibur like a few months ago, or like a year ago or something like that. And how like there hasn't been much in the way of Soul Calibur because there's been no one at Bandai Namco to really champion like backing up a new Soul Calibur, or like taking on the role as the like lead for that series. But now the lead for Tekken is leaving Bandai Namco, so I hope Tekken sticks around. I can't imagine it going anywhere anytime soon, obviously. They're still going to support the hell out of Tekken 8. But yeah, hats off to Harada for a hell of a run. Another thing that's been like kind of in the back of my mind has been that like Warner, like Netflix dealio. With Netflix like interested or like in talks to buying Warner Brothers for like tens of billions of dollars. I think it's like 80 something billion. Which, like, you tend to forget just how much Warner actually owns. Like, yeah, they got like a massive catalog of like TV, movies. They have like their own set of like, I think, are they under Turner? Like the Ted Turner stuff? I don't know. I think CNN falls under that. I believe so. But anyway, Warner Brothers has like, they have a whole like gaming division. You know, they own all of like the old vintage Midway properties. Like, they own Mortal Kombat. They have like all the DC stuff, you know. Personally, I've never been into DC at all. Never really like Batman, Superman, or any of that kind of stuff, but can appreciate some of the stuff that it does from a distance. But like, I don't really interact with it on my own. It was never really my thing. But the gaming stuff, like, that's what I'm more interested in, because Netflix has already dabbled into its own line of like doing video game stuff to like, I don't know if I'd say varying success. Like, I've at least like acknowledged that it's there, I guess. Like, they've bought studios, I think, right? They bought the people who did Oxenfree. Didn't they put out like another Oxenfree? I think they did. Or they've put out like they'll like score deals to put some video games on mobile. I want to say that's how Hades is on mobile. I could be wrong. I know that's definitely how like some of the Grand Theft Autos, like the those newer definitive edition versions that came out a few years ago, like those are on mobile through Netflix. Excuse me. I don't know how those deals worked out, but Netflix is putting up the money to put some of their games on mobile through their subscription services. I never really got into that. For one, I don't have Netflix anymore, but also like playing some of the like, it's noble to put some of those bigger games on mobile for more people to have access to, for sure. That is just not up my alley. I would prefer to not play those types of games on a phone. I'd rather just hook them up to a TV, play it that way. I don't know if that's in their grand master plan, or if they really have a grand master plan to begin with, but like having a whole Netflix games thing and it only be like locked to mobile, I think is doing what they're putting out a disservice. I feel like if they really want that to grow, they find a way to like give people those games, have them have it accessed on a TV or on a computer even. I don't know how they go about doing that. I mean, like, they make an app, obviously, but like, I don't know. I'm not that kind of tech wizard. I just know, like, hey, if the games come with a subscription, they should have ways of playing it other than just on a phone. Because there are ways to access Netflix on more than just phones. But if this Warner Netflix deal goes through, then that means Netflix has Mortal Kombat. They have all those classic Midway IPs. They have essentially all like the DC game stuff. Like they got Rocksteady. They got whoever the hell's making Batman games nowadays. I don't know if Warner Brothers owns Traveler's Tales. I think they do. They like Avalanche Studios, the people who do like which Avalanche, whichever Avalanche did that Hogwarts game, they own them. And then there's that other Avalanche that does Just Cause. There's like Avalanche Studios and then Avalanche just whatever. Anyway, I'd be curious to see how that spells out if this deal ends up going through. I'm sure everyone would. Because like Midway has such a large catalog of classic IP that has just kind of been dormant. And Warner Brothers has dipped their toes into it like sparingly, like in like very cautiously as well. Like, I don't know, the last thing I could think of that was like classic Midway that they even bothered looking at was Gauntlet. They probably did more, but that's the first one that came to mind. And that one didn't really catch the world on fire. They seem to be more interested in just Mortal Kombat. But also I remember hearing years ago, like people who were like smaller devs who were very interested in licensing out, like, hey, like Midway's got all this incredible classic IP. We would love to work with it. Like, we would love to make like a new Smash TV or whatever. And I think the main thing was just Warner's price was just too high to license it. Like, Warner was holding onto those IP like so closely to their chest. They're like, oh no, this is worth something, you know? I guess more power to them to seeing value in their IP, but at the same time, it's like, you're not doing anything with it. Like, it's one thing to see value in your IP, and it's another to just like sit on it to the point where it's like worthless in the public eye. They like, it's only worth something if like you do something with it. I don't really have a dog in this fight either way. I don't have Netflix. I don't really care for the stuff that Warner puts out. I don't care for DC. I know a lot of people do, though. A lot of people do. The classic Midway stuff is the only thing I really care about. I don't really care for Mortal Kombat that much. The newer ones are fine. Like MK9, like, turned me around on Mortal Kombat for sure. I never really liked those older ones. I just don't like how they feel. I don't like how they play. But yeah, those newer ones are pretty good. I hope for the best when it comes to this deal, if it does come to pass. But there's already a lot of eyes on it, so I guess time will tell if it ends up being a good thing, which I'm going to say probably won't be. That's all the big news I can think of. There's been a lot of games coming out. A lot of games have come out. Metroid Prime 4 just hit. I plan on playing that at some point. But part of me wants to play the first Metroid Prime again. Hitting rumble strips. It's very snowy here on the roads. I remember seeing like the previews for Metroid Prime 4, like hawking up this really annoying character at the beginning. And then all the reviews that I've been seeing of it just barely even mention it. Like, I know they were like, yeah, this is mostly just like a beginning of the game kind of thing. And I mean, it seemed to be on the right trail. Like I've strayed away from like reading or watching reviews of it. I just know like the general consensus of it is that it's like it's pretty good. It's pretty all right. But that's all I kind of want to know. Because even if whether or not it's good or bad, like I definitely want to play it. I want to see those things for myself. So I'm keeping my distance from Metroid Prime 4 for now. I'll definitely pick it up by the end of the year. As for whether I'll start it by then, that remains to be seen. I bought Metroid Dread the day it came out. It's still in its shrink wrap. I still haven't played it. I bought Metroid Prime Remastered when it came out. Still never played it. I tend to do that. Games I'm looking forward to, and I just put it off for God knows whatever reason. What I have been playing, though, a lot of first-person shooters, and none of them are Call of Duty. I bought Battlefield 6 around the time it came out. I've been playing that a lot. That's like the friend group game. I'm having a lot of fun with that. My buddies have been playing a lot of Escape from Tarkov. I bought that years ago and never really got into it on the level that they did. And for whatever reason, Tarkov has come back into I wouldn't say the public eye. It's always kind of been there, but like in the friend group's eye, it's like come back in a bigger way than it has in the past. Mostly for that PvE stuff, which that was the stuff that sounded the most interesting to me. And I was like, you know what? I'd probably try this again without like the anxiety of like having to deal with other real life players in the game trying to fuck up my shit. And my buddy Eldon bought me the PvE stuff out of the kindness of his heart. Even though I'd already planned on buying it, he's like, nah, I got you, fam. So I played with him and Aaron and them for a little bit. And like I had a great time. And I went back and played some of it solo just to get some more mileage out of it. Like I intend on playing more Tarkov. I really actually enjoyed my time with it. Like whatever spark I saw in it that made me want to play it back in like 2020, like I think it's finally come to fruition now that like I'm not dealing with the PvP stuff, because that was easily the most frustrating part about it. But now that that's not a problem, it's a way more enjoyable game. The shitty part is how expensive it is. It was like, I don't know how much prices have gone up for that, but the base game, which is like the regular ass Tarkov with the PvP stuff, is like, I think I bought it for like $40. I don't know if that's still the same price. But if you just want PvE, like the base game, but with no real life actual players fucking up your shit, but you can still play with your friends. That is an additional $30. Which, if you ask me, that should just be part of the base game. Like, full stop. Like, that's unacceptable. And like, I was about to buy that. Like, I fully intended on it because I really wanted that's the game I wanted to play. But you can't play the PvE stuff without already owning the PvP stuff. You have to buy the bad game to get to the good game. I wouldn't call it bad. It's just not for me. The PvE stuff, though, that's good. And playing a little bit of Arc Raiders kind of gave me that itch to be like, you know what, maybe this is an extraction shooter for me, but we don't support AI bullshit in this house, so we'll stick with the OG for now. I will say, it was like around this time last year, that new Delta Force came out, which is pretty much like Chinese made Battlefield, essentially, and it has an extraction mode in it. I played the hell out of Delta Force. I love Delta Force. Like, I thought the Battlefield stuff was like on par, if not better, than where Battlefield was at that time. I thought it was super solid. I thought it played great. I thought it looked pretty good. And just, there was no limit to weapon attachments, so you can have your weapon look as gaudy and goofy and just fully kitted out as you wanted, and I really appreciated that. I had a gun with like literally every single slot maxed out, and then every single rail on the barrel had a different color laser sight on it, so I had like 4 laser sights going. I love that shit. I love the hell out of Delta Force. If Battlefield didn't come in and just like wipe the slate clean with just a really solid multiplayer game, I'd probably still be playing Delta Force. But getting back to the extraction stuff, there's an extraction mode in Delta Force, and I actually played that for a hot minute. I thought it was really well done, even if it did have the PvP stuff. Like, I'd say that game is way more friendly to play than Tarkov is. Like, it reminded me of that Call of Duty extraction mode, whatever it was, DMZ. Like, I see something there, but there's just, I don't know, it's just not enough to keep me invested in it. And at the end of the day, the same thing kind of happened with Delta Force. Even though I did enjoy what I played, there wasn't enough to make me come back to it. I just kind of did the same things over and over again. Like, I'd go in to a game, and I'd only be equipped with a knife. I'd run up to a PvE guy, and then take his stuff, and then just like kit out my dude as much as I could from other enemies that I killed, loot some stuff, and then leave the game. And for a hot second, I thought that was pretty fun. And I realized like Tarkov is like the way more realized version of that. And it is incredibly in-depth. And also, despite all the advances that game has made, still incredibly unfriendly to players. Like, you really, really got to be into it, or like invested and be like, look, I want to like this game. I'm gonna hunker down and really get into it, or at least have friends who are really into it who could help you along the way, and that helps a lot. So, pleasantly surprised by how much fun I'm actually having with Tarkov when I play it. The other big game I've been playing, I wouldn't say big, it's an early access. It's called Sulfur, another first-person shooter. It's more of a roguelike first-person shooter, though it does have some, I hesitate to say Tarkovness to it, because I don't want to just keep doing that. It's not really. It just has a grid-based inventory system. Sulfur is a run-based first-person shooter where you are a priest whose church and congregation are burned to the ground by a witch, so you go and chase after this witch. You want to kill the witch. In doing so, you go through the randomly generated dungeons, essentially. I've run through 2 so far. I've gone through caves and a town. The gunplay feels excellent, if not like really. It has a learning curve to it because there's so many different weird ass weapons in that game, and they all handle very differently. But essentially, you start off with just a base pistol. You go through these dungeons, you find treasures, you get items, you kit yourself out with newer weapons as you find them. You upgrade the guns with weapon attachments and enchantments and oils. The enchantments add like a permanent effect to the gun. Same with the oils. I haven't really figured out what makes them so wildly different, other than like, I guess like the enchantments add like a certain things like elemental damage, like, oh, when you shoot a guy it adds like frost damage, or like the oils would be like, oh, it's got like slow heavy bullets but they're bigger. So I put that on a shotgun, and so it's got like these slower moving big ass bullets that like do a fuck ton of damage. Or like I had another like an auto shotty that did like, oh, here it does like 50% more damage but also 50% more recoil, and it made the auto part of the auto shotty practically unusable. Like I just, that was my fault. I didn't read the actual enchantment or oil, whatever it did. But every time you rank up a gun, you can add 1 enchantment or 1 oil. You can only add 1 enchantment per gun, but every other rank that you have, you can just add more oils to it, if that makes sense. You can have like multiple enchantments to a gun. So like you can't give a gun fire and ice elemental effects, you know? But the weapon upgrading is like shockingly in depth for the kind of game it looks like it is. Like, you know, like barrel attachments, scopes, laser sights, all that stuff. You have to manage different ammo types. There's like 5.56, 7.62, 9mm, 12 gauge, all that stuff. Like you have to like those don't take up slots in your inventory, which is really nice. But I think the main thing that I've been really enjoying about it is like, other than like the gunplay feeling really good, it's like the looting aspect is like incredibly engrossing, almost to the level that Tarkov is, even though that is not what it is at all. But I'm keeping an eye out for like different items and like food recipes, because there is a very in-depth like cooking crafting system in this game. There's also like, I want to say it gives off the impression that like there's enchantment or oil crafting as well. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but the cooking aspect is so in depth, where like all the different items you find, you just put them in like a little 9x9 or like a 3x3 or 4x4 grid, depending on which stovetop or type of cooking area that you find. The formation of the items doesn't matter like it does in Minecraft. They just got to be in the grid. And I'm just hoarding every single like thing I find to like that could possibly be part of a recipe, and then just kitting out my entire inventory with nothing but food items. I have so much fucking food that I don't know what to do with. And each thing is like, oh, like this will heal you like 30 health over like 10 seconds, or like 20 health over 5 seconds, you know, stuff like that. And combining different food items will like have different effects. Like mostly like drinks will like cure certain status ailments. Like if you drink a water bottle, it'll cure you of like fire damage. Like cups of tea or wine will cure you of poison while also curing you of fire damage because it's a liquid. Stuff like that. I put like 6 or 7 hours into Sulfur. I think it's really, really great. I look forward to playing way more of it. I'm having a great time with it. And it's a game I've been eyeing for a while. It's still in early access, but I want to say that they're I don't want to make assumptions, but I get the impression that they are nearing the end of their early access period. The game's on sale right now to coincide with their latest update, which is essentially adding the end game area and an endless mode. Which, to access the endless mode, you have to essentially beat the game. Which I haven't gone to yet, but the endless mode looks very promising. It looks like way more run-based than the current game is. It's more like Vampire Survivor-esque, where like every level you get like cards in front of you with different abilities. You select the abilities you want. And you just constantly upgrade your dude with new weapons and powers and stuff like that. Which, that sounds very fun. So, it is single player only, which I think is the only downside, but honestly, there's so many other games that are like this that are multiplayer, like, it doesn't bother me that it's single player only. If it sounds fun, I think it is very fun. I think you should give it a shot. It's only on PC right now. It's only in early access on Steam. I assume it's going to come to other platforms at some point. I'd be surprised if it doesn't. But yeah, Sulfur. Very, very fun. Very good. And then I picked up Kirby Air Riders the day it came out, and haven't played a ton of it. Like, I played a good chunk of it that weekend that I got it, and I even streamed some online. I did a few streams with Kirby Air Riders, but I just haven't really found the time to like play my Switch a whole lot outside of those streams where I'm setting it up deliberately. You know what I mean? Like, it's just more seamless to just be playing stuff on my PC because I'm already on there. Playing stuff on Switch, I wouldn't say is a hassle, but it's like, and not super out of the way, but like, it's more of an out of sight, out of mind thing. It's not that I don't want to play Kirby, it's just like I don't think about it because I'm not looking at my Switch all the time. I'm on my PC. But I need to get more into it. I really liked what I played. I love the original Kirby Air Ride. It's like one of my favorite GameCube games. The fact that they made a sequel to Kirby Air Ride, I still can't believe that game exists. I'm happy it exists, and I'm happy that it's as good as it is, and people are embracing it as such. Kirby Air Ride is finally getting its due. I still like to call it Kirby Air Ride 2, because in my mind, that's a game that shouldn't exist, but it kind of does. It's a great year to be a Nintendo racing fan. With the new Mario Kart, a re-release of F-Zero GX, technically on Switch 2 with the GameCube stuff, and a new Kirby Air Ride. It's Nintendo's 2003 holiday lineup all over again, and I'm fucking living for it. And a new Metroid Prime. Like, what more could you want? I've been really happy with the Switch 2 lineup. It was made for me and nobody else. Just for me. But I've also been like, I don't want to call myself a Mario Kart apologist, but Mario Kart World might actually be my game of the year. I had so much fun with Mario Kart World. It is the Mario Kart game in terms of its like scope and like just general theming and stuff like that, with like this open world and like an interconnected world where all the tracks are there. That is a game I've dreamed of having ever since I was a kid. And while there's a lot of aspects of it that aren't fully realized yet, and I don't think will be, the fact that like even a glimmer of that even exists, like I was just so hooked on playing that game. I think it's the best feeling Mario Kart they've ever made. I think the online modes are really fun. I love the Knockout Tour. I love just exploring and finding weird stuff. I love doing the challenges. There's so much more. There's so much potential in Mario Kart World that is being left on the table. And I hope
I hope so badly that game gets DLC of some kind. I don't know how they do it, if they wanted to keep like the whole connected open world thing going. I feel like they're doing that game a disservice by not supporting it more. At least it's getting updates. And like actually like pretty good, like more recently good substantial updates in terms of like the most recent one is like 1.4.0, where they like changed how Koopa Troopa Beach works when playing Knockout Tour or when playing races that connected to Koopa Troopa Beach. Like the course layouts on the tracks leading to Koopa Troopa Beach have been completely altered to be more varied and more entertaining, I guess. And they made Koopa Troopa Beach a 2-lap track instead of a 1-lap thing. Which, those are substantial changes. Like, I don't know why I never considered, like, changing the open world route for those connected tracks to be a thing. I was just like, oh, I never even considered that for an existing track. What I would love to see from Mario Kart World, honestly, is being able to make a custom Knockout Tour route. I'm shocked that's not in there, or at least like when playing online, it just randomly generates a route through Knockout Tour, because all those tracks are connected in one way or another. Like, I'm surprised it just doesn't like pull from a pool and just like auto generates a Knockout Tour route. All the tools are there. I hope that's coming. I hope anything's coming for Mario Kart World. I want to play it more. I love it. But yeah, that's all in terms of like modern stuff I've been playing. On my streams for Saturn stuff, you're listening to the Saturnology guy talk about anything but Saturn, so here you go. On stream, I've been playing through that. I've been playing Doom on the Saturn. The more appropriately, the Faffling fix is what it's called. For the most recent, I forget the name of it, but it's like a Saturn homebrew game jam. I know Pandemonium does a video for it every year. But one of the things that they talk about, or one of the things that was featured in this past year's event, was a fix, a patch for Doom on the Saturn, specifically the Japanese version, that improves the frame rate. Like, it makes the game run so much better. Like, it is a night and day difference. Like, I wouldn't say it's on par with the PlayStation version, or like on par with really any version. It's probably closer to like, I'd say it surpasses the 32X version in terms of how it runs. But the 32X version of Doom is not bad. Not bad at all. Not too shabby, but like, the 32X version ran so much better than the base Saturn version. It was like so upsetting. And I'm so happy that this patch more or less fixes it to an extent. There are certain levels where, like, if you enter a certain level where there's like a lot of geometry and a lot of enemies, like, it does chug. It does show the fact that it's still Saturn Doom, but for the most part the game is like so much more playable, and I've been having a blast actually playing it. I'm finally fully playing through Saturn Doom. As of my last stream, I just finished episode 3 of Ultimate Doom, so we got episode 4 left, and then we go to Doom 2. That's been my main Saturn thing I've been playing, mostly on stream. It's great. I highly recommend checking out the Faffling fix. It's a legit game changer for Saturn Doom. It's awesome. And then lastly, I guess I'll talk about the channel status. Still trying to do the weekly streams when I can on YouTube and on Twitch, twitch.tv/Davetona, and youtube.com/@Davetona, where you're probably listening to this maybe. or on the podcast service of your choice. I've got a lot of episodes in the writing phase still. It's funny how like I have a lot of things divvied up because some I've already recorded video for and haven't written the script yet, like the Indy 500 video. But scripts that I have started writing, I've actually started another script. I have 4 scripts that are being worked on right now. I have one for a loop on the third person platformer thing for the Saturn, pinball graffiti, and then I have another video talking about like retro re-releases on the Saturn, which I'm kind of looking at expanding the scope of because I think it's a really interesting topic. I got some ideas for that one. And then one I actually started writing this past week for Sega Rally on the Game Boy Advance. I've owned that game for years and always kind of wrote it off as like this like bullshit port. I'm like, this is like a quick cash grab. I can't believe this game fucking exists. It's dumb as hell. But I like the fact that it exists. But I gave it another shot. Like I sat down and just like, I'm just going to play through this and just like really take it all in, and actually had a really great time with it. Like it's got some problems for sure. I kind of go into this and like on Bluesky a few months ago when I played it, and I'm playing through it again now for writing the script. But I gotta hand it to them. Like they really went for it, and for the most part they succeeded. There's quite a few things about that game that I don't like. For one, I think it looks ugly as sin. I don't like how you have to angle your car because it looks like it's always like sliding to the left a little bit, just like perspective wise. It always bothered me. But if you get past both of those things, the ugly ass visuals and the fact that your car tends to like lean left, it's really not that bad. I think there are better 3D style racing games on the GBA, no doubt. Hell, even like the Mode 7 stuff, like either F-Zero is better than Sega Rally. Most racing games on the GBA, I'd say, are better than Sega Rally on the GBA. But for what Sega Rally GBA is, it's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty neat. But yeah, I'm writing that script because I think it's an interesting game and I want more people to know about it. Also, that game is so expensive. I have a loose copy. I don't have a complete box copy, but apparently that's going for like multiple hundreds of dollars, which I had no idea. A Sega Rally GBA was given to me as a gift, and it definitely didn't cost that much then. So yeah, got a lot of that stuff in the pipeline. Still doing some more streaming stuff on the weekends when I can. In terms of like timing and scheduling for those is very up in the air. I can't seem to keep a consistent schedule with that, just because I work weird hours and staying awake during certain times of the day is just difficult, and I'd rather prioritize sleep for work than streaming most of the time. So, but what I hope to do with this weird little podcast thing that I'm doing solo, I hope to spend some time during my work hours doing stuff like this when there's a lot of downtime. So that's going to do it for this. Thank you for listening. I hope I get an opportunity to do this again next time. I'll try to make this a weekly thing. Talk about what I played on the weekends and some brief news things. I just want to talk about games. And I hope you want to listen to me talk about games. I would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. This was Davetona Drive Time. I guess that's what I'm calling it. I'll catch you on the next one.